What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. In today's video, we're taking a look at a team in the Love Cup in which I have rediscovered this incredibly powerful Pokemon, one of the many fish, the lippiest fish I've ever seen. Bruxish, with Confusion and Psychic Fangs, it's able to rip through a vast majority of this cup and does a ton of damage. And I learned that the hard way after trying to get several different teams to work and not anything working. Had a nasty little 200, 300 point elo fall since I was just up in the 2800s or so again. So yeah, it's been a rough one. But Bruxish brought me back from the brink, and in the lead we're gonna have our Crocodile. This thing is a reward from the level 45 research. Otherwise, I don't believe there's a way outside of trading to get one under 1500. So this thing is an incredibly dominant force and really is the reason why this team is so good, because Crocodile is still, even though it's been talked about, is one of the best core breakers in this meta, because there's just so many things that get beat by it. And I don't think enough people are respecting it, but it's also kind of not so common. So last Pokemon we're going to have is a safe switch, Slowbro. Galarian Slowbro with Surf Brutal Swing has incredible coverage into this meta. Let's get into these battles now that I've talked your ears off and check them out. Crocodile on the lead here versus our target, the Slowbro. Slowbro is going to be swapping out and Miltank's going to come in. The opponent gets a move in immediately, which tells me this is just a body slam and I can let it go. Now if the opponent safe switches a Miltank, probably one of those like Lickitung, or it could be, I mean, anything back to, let's be honest, but Lickitung is the most expected thing. Now my opponent throwing like that before they get to 5 tells me they don't have Ice Beam, so they have Thunderbolt. I'm going to come in with my Slowbro to catch that body slam and farm all the way down with the defense drop from the Brick Break, and I'm going to throw on 4 because my opponent did not throw any fast moves before they swapped out. So I go for 4, go for the Brutal Swing, go for another Brutal Swing if I can, but the opponent does want to cap tie me here and get rid of my energy, which I'm fine to let this go. I get to keep Crocodile on a Slowbro, and in comes Licky. So this is one of those common teams where you have Slowbro or Medicham double rollout. We're going to be able to put a Brick Break debuff on this thing, and Bruxish is in the back. But I'm going to keep playing this out with Crocodile because I know that I can get to at least one more Brick Break, and this Pokemon cannot swap out. This is the last Pokemon the opponent has that's able to battle, and so they won't be able to swap out and clear this debuff. So now Bruxish is going to just come in and just put its things, the big flappy lip things, you know. I don't know where I'm going with this bit. I don't even know, man. But I wanted to shield that in case the opponent had Shadow Ball. Now they're going to be able to get to a move. It's just a body slam the Confusion is going to knock out. And in comes the Slowbro, and they concede because they know it's over. Good game. Next game, we're going to have Magcargo on the lead. You'll love to see it. This whole team will have play here. The opponent not likely to stay in. They're going to come immediately in with Clefable, and they've sacrificed it to the Galarian Slow Brother himself. Him, he, and who else? And they have Psychic on the Clefable. That's actually kind of interesting for a safe switch Clefable. Take notes. I'm taking notes as well. Because Psychic would do well against something like an Ariados coming in. But overall, having Swift as well, I'm just getting a full farm down here. I figured I could live 2 Psychics, or was hoping to, but I'm going to do something super cheeky here, and I'm going to bait. And if I can get to a 3rd move here before getting farmed down, I'm going to bait again. Looks like I might be able to, so I'm going to go for it, man. I'm going for the double Brutal Swing. Surf would nearly knock out the Magcargo. It's double super effective. Opponent putting up both shields, and we get to the Surf. I feel so naughty after these baits, but we're going to be able to hit them for double super effective damage, but they hang on by a thread, and in comes a Wigglytuff. I'm going to take a few charms here because Crocodile does not seem like it's gonna, like, I don't need any resources at this point to take out the Magcargo, but I did want this defense drop so I could Confusion through the Wigglytuff, because unfortunately for Bruxish, it is extremely glassy. It's made of literal wet paper, and it does not take hits very well. So an opponent's Wigglytuff probably would have charmed through this thing, but it has a very high attack stat, which means it's going to easily win the cap tie here. Charge attack priority tie against the Magcargo, and we're going to take this game as well. Went on a nice 8-2 run in the 2 sets here in the video, but I also had a 3-2, or I guess a 3-1 since I switched teams in the middle of the set. So realistically, we went like 11-4 with this team, and maybe 11-3. It was a really strong team. Like, I have had so many ideas for teams in this meta, but I cannot seem to get them to work otherwise unless they're running this Crocodile in the lead, which I, as a person, know that Crocodile is very inaccessible, and so I was trying my best to find a team without it to showcase for everybody today. But it's just, I couldn't, man. It just doesn't want to align. I can't get any of these other things that I was trying to think of to work. Like, I was going to try and run Tyrantrum. I was trying to run Lurantis. I was trying to find some cool meta-breaking picks, and the team is just they couldn't hold up because Slowbro is just so good in this cup, dude. But they're going to swap in here to an Electrode. I see Electric on the top, and I'm like, Crocodile is just salivating at the thought of getting some Mud Slaps in here. Now, the opponent does get to a charge move. I have to decide if I want to let this go or shield and save the energy. I'm going to go ahead and shield here because we're going to be able to get this down to the opponent's last remaining Pokemon, and Brick Break is going to lower the defense permanently, just like the last game, and put us in a position where hopefully we can make something happen. Now, I do have to recognize as well that my Bruxish would get hit by these Night Slashes or the Trailblazes really hard, so I'm glad they weren't able to get to a second move. I just had to make sure they couldn't. While I was playing that game, I was pretty confident they weren't getting to another move, but it's like I lost count halfway through the battle. So we see the next game here. We see an Alolan lead, which has been extremely common and part of the reason why Bruxish is doing as well as it is. My opponent's going to overfarm by a ton here, and I'm going to eventually just throw a Brutal Swing and chip this thing, as the opponent and I do have a charge attack priority tie. They're going to go for a move. I'm going to go ahead and let this go. By now, the switch timer has been so misaligned that I can just let this go and hopefully get Bruxish on the later in the game. I'm not going to be able to get to another move, unfortunately, so Crocodile is going to have to come in, and I'm just going to let it go ahead and tank this X-Scissor. I know it's going to hurt a lot, but I'm going to let Bruxish have the reins here because we have an Alomomola in the back that is ripe for some farming, and I'm pretty sure the opponent's switch clock wouldn't quite be up yet, so I might have a chance here to get some extra farm in. The opponent staying in. Either they are not able to swap out yet, or they are very weak in the back to this thing, and we are going to be able to fully farm down, and I'm going to have to shield something at some point, and I saved him for this fish, so I might as well use him. The opponent's going to come in with a Magcargo. Jeez, have you seen how much energy this Bruxish has from all this confusion? We're going to be able to go for one, and then the one confusion, and then the Aqua Tail 3 consecutive times in a row to completely deny the Magcargo any energy, because that Magcargo always needs at least 3 of its Incinerates to get to its first move, as it pretty much has Rock Tomb and Nukes. So confidently able to take this Pokemon out here, and then we're going to confusion down the Alomomola, and we're going to take the game. Well played. Next game, we have Crocodile on the lead versus Scrafty. I need to stay for just a minute to see if it has counter. It probably does. And once I see that it has counter, I'm going to get into my Slowbro, soften it up just a little bit, and then a Scizor is going to come in. And boy, this trainer is really spicing it up here. I love the Scizor pick here, honestly. Another Pokemon that I tried to make work and only had limited success with it, which kind of sucked, not going to lie, but that's all good. All good. Gonna have a Night Slash come through. I do need to shield that up, but I'm gonna get to the Surf before the opponent's gonna be able to get to another move, and we're gonna be able to hopefully fish the shield, or the opponent's just gonna let it through. If I want to, I could absolutely just shield, and I don't know if I could farm down, but it'll be very close. But I'm gonna go ahead and just let it go, and I'm gonna take the farm on Crocodile here, and then look to try and get a Brick Break off against the opponent's Scrafty. But they threw pretty quick here. So I feel like this is probably just a power-up punch. Doesn't feel like it's anything else. It is, of course, the power-up punch. I was hoping that they would have the Thunder Punch Foul Play combo, because at least my Crocodile would resist that energy. But no, but we are going to be able to get the Brick Break off, and those confusions, even though resisted, are doing a massive amount of damage, and we're going to be able to get the final confusion through. Hopefully that's enough. It looks like they might live on 1 HP. We'll see if they go down. The opponent's Scrafty does look to have swapped out here, so it does look like it's in the back by 1 HP here, but we're going to be able to get Slowbro is going to get, this is where I learned, this was the matchup that I learned how deadly Bruxish is. This thing is just going to get to work, even in, you know, I don't have a shield, unfortunately, but if I did, we would have confusion this thing down, no problem, but at this point, its defense was so down. I needed to be able to get to this farm down here, but unfortunately, the opponent had me too low from previous in the game. We're going to be able to take a nice 4-1 set, though, to start this video off, and I'm going to have another 4-1 set coming right up for you. This team felt so strong today after what I had gone through. I couldn't help it. Not a video for video's sake, I promise. This team literally cooks. Bruxish in the lead is almost always going to have confusion, and if they decide to throw on alignment like that, you can actually fully farm down with one shield with Crocodile. It's pretty disgusting, to be honest. And opponent's going to come in with Bug Bite Wormadam. Now, if it's Confusion Wormadam, we're absolutely fine here, but unfortunately, the opponent does have Bug Bite, so they're going to do quite a lot of fast move damage. And I'm just going to get this crunch off. The opponent thinks we're going for another Brick Break. They're going to be sadly mistaken. We are going to try to get to a farm down here, but unfortunately, those Bug Bites added up a heck of a lot faster than I figured that they would, and I kind of get taken off guard. And I should just throw in the move, but I really did kind of want this farm down with something. But now we've got Bruxish into an Alolan, and we are going to be happy to see this matchup because this is just a dominant matchup for Bruxish. There have been so many Alolan I've just had like so much opportunity to lock a Bruxish onto these things. It's actually quite nice. Now again, I have to shield something at some point. We're going to throw 2 Confusions into the 3-turn users. That's going to land us on turn 8 when we throw the move, but theirs is turn 9 when they finish their 3rd. But like, dude, look, they're just going. They're just going. And at this point, I mean, even Crocodile could handle it from this range if it was still here, but opponent's going to try to swap in, clear debuffs, but it's not going to matter as our Slowbro is nearly at a brutal swing. We're going to be able to take this game here by going for the charge move and taking out the fish. Good game. Next game up here, we're going to have Crocodile on the lead versus Alolan once again. Anyway, Bruxish safe switch in this time. I'm going to try. This is one thing that you can do, right? If you're not confident how safe switching would work, you know, because last time I safe switched the Slowbro, I wasn't sure how it went, but this time I went ahead and swapped in my Bruxish just to see, and of course, there's a Wormadam waiting for me in the back. Now, my opponent just saw how much this Aqua Tail did, so I'm expecting them to either let this go or shield, but, like, obviously they have to do one or the other. But if they're going to let it go, then, I mean, okay. But, like, I was fully expecting them to go ahead and shield that because they would have lost all that energy. Now, I could have gone for a farm down here. I failed to remember that Bug Buzz going for the Bug Buzz first still makes it 5 to a move afterwards. So I could have farmed that Wormadam down. But that's okay. We still have shield parity here, and the opponent comes in with a Skeledirge, and they get a really, really nice catch here, dude. Like, really, really nice. I pushed the button a little too early. I should have been a little bit more patient here by throwing my charge move, but Aqua Tail will do a tiny amount of chip damage, and I'm just going to get right into my Slowbro, and I need to try and overfarm here as much as I can without getting destroyed by a Hydro Pump or something, because if I can come out of this with energy against the Skeledirge, I'm in a really good spot because that thing has taken some damage by now from those confusions. Psychic is not going to do a ton of damage, but it's going to do enough to get us low, certainly within range of a couple of Incinerates for sure, so I got to keep an eye on that. Make sure that if I can, try and get to a move here. The opponent going to get the Incinerate through. Looks like we lived, and what I should have done in hindsight was switch right to Crocodile. I gave them a full free Incinerate for really nothing there, so swapping would have actually been much better for me. But what I do here is I go ahead and I throw the Mud Slap, wait one turn, and then switch into my Bruxish because the opponent is just about to hit 100 energy there. They would have been at 5 Incinerates after that one, so I was like, if you're going to throw, it's going to be now. So I'm going to go ahead and go for this catch, and we're going to be able to make it. And the one Mud Slap, I don't want to chance them getting the damage registration error to get this move off, so I just go for the Brick Break. I'm pretty confident it's going to be enough. Thankfully it is. We're going to take that game. Well played to the opponent. Next game, we're going to have Crocodile against Clefable. This is a not great matchup. The Fairy Winds do add up. I'm going to immediately switch into my Slowbro here. Yes, it is the harder counter, but sometimes it works out that way where you can still safe switch the Slowbro even though it's the harder answer to the Clefable, because I don't want to let Clefable freely just get a shield off of my Bruxish if I can help it. That's why Slowbro is usually better as the safe switch, because it's got more bulk to play with and more resistances, and it's going to be able to do a little bit more work in this format as opposed to Bruxish. Now, Bruxish will function as a good safe switch, certainly. My opponent here has given me, however, an opening to get switch advantage by not shielding that Surf, and so I'm absolutely going to take it, because if I can keep Crocodile away from the Clefable, I'm happy with that. Plus, the opponent is forced to come in with their third Pokemon here, because they can't really come in with Clefable because they're just going to get ripped apart by the poison jabs. So they also let the Surf through, which is really nice. And I'm going to try to go for an over farm here. As soon as I see that the opponent has decided to go for a farm down, I'm going to throw this Brutal Swing to get the final shield here. I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to bring in, honestly, I just bring in Crocodile to absorb the energy, because I know that, man, I was trying to catch what I thought was a Moonblast here. I'm figuring, okay, if I can just... Oh, man. If I can just get Krookodile to a move, dude. I just need to get to this crunch. Going for the Brick Break instead. I'm hoping to cope. But if the Skeledirge has a move, it's all over, and I'm pretty sure that they do. The opponent has the move, is the Disarming Voice, super effective against the squishy Krookodile. It's going to be enough. Unfortunately, they're going to take victory from us in this one, but good game to them anyway. Next game, we got Krookodile on the lead versus Bruxish. Again, they're almost always going to have confusion, so they like to swap out of this matchup. And there's the Alolan that we are going to be able to take with the Bruxish again. The safe switch, Stupid Fish. Man, this is the Lantern of the Love Cup for me. I just hate this fish. It's just such an obnoxious looking fish. They should have made this the Love Disc evolution. No knock on Love Disc. I'm just saying they should be related. That's all. But yeah, now you can see how much damage that Psychic does, which is about the only move that gets thrown in this matchup, as we can just Confusion down and have a ton of energy to hit whatever comes in. But the opponent is going to come back in with that Bruxish, and we should be able to get to Psychic Fangs plus an Aqua Tail here. So what I'm going to do is just that. I'm going to go. I could have gone for 2 Aqua Tails, probably would have done more damage, but I'm still going to go for the defense drop to make them more pressured to swap out instead of trying to stay in. And opponent's going to come in with a Bug Bite Wormadam, which I am going to have to chip before getting out of. They are absolutely ripping my poor little Krookodile in half there with those bug bites, but I'm going to have to come in now with my Slowbro. Even though we're doing double resisted poison type damage to their with the fast moves here, we are going to be able to get a brutal swing off. The defense drop may make them want to shield this, as it could be a Surf, and they are going to go ahead and shield it. I'm going to look to go for the Surf this time. If they're going to try and call another bait, that's going to be on them. I'm not baiting this time. Once is enough. I get lucky with one. Surf will get the shield here. Opponent's going to bring in their Bruxish, and I have a call to make. Am I going to let this go? Yeah, I'm going to let this go. It's a Psychic Fangs. Going to be fine here. Going to go for just one more Poison Jab and then be getting that farm down, and the opponent's going to come back in with the Wormadam, and I'm going to try my best. I'm going to shield here because it looks like, my health bar looks like I should be able to get this move off. Going to go for the crunch, but oh my goodness, it was closer than I thought. That was the moment that I really, truly realized how much those bug bites were doing. My goodness, good game to this trainer. Getting into the next game, here we got Ariados on the lead. This is a bit of a spooky lead, but I'm going to safe switch into my Bruxish here to put some early pressure on them, get their Pokemon down low. Those Confusions are hitting hard, and they come in with a Milotic. I saw the water typing come up, and I thought they were going to safe switch into Lomomola, and I was like, huh? But no, they had a Milotic, which is a really cool pick for this cup, by the way. For some reason, I don't get a move through, and I thought about going for the move. I'm like, all right, whatever. It's fine. I don't know that I didn't see it, but it doesn't look like I did. But the opponent's not running Waterfall, so I'm going to be able to come get a farm down with my Krookodile here and look to try and put some damage into this Ariados. They did go for about 4 stings and then swapped out, so this should be them on their lunge, their 5th, 6th, 7 here as we go for the Brick Break to try and fish a shield. Most will still shield this because it could be a crunch, as it would have been enough, and then we're going to be able to get this thing pretty low. The opponent throws on poor timing, gives me a full free Mud Slap, and I'm pretty confident at this point that I can just Mud Slap all the way down here, as they threw as soon as they got their move. So we're going to be able to get rid of this thing, and then they have a Tyrantrum in the back. I'm going to go for the Brick Break. The opponent did lunge me twice. I don't expect them to shield this, but maybe they forgot how lunge works. I'm not sure. Or maybe they just wanted to shield a potential Earthquake, which is most likely what the actual reason for that shield was. But we're just going to throw the Brick Break here, save the opportunity to take this out with Krookodile, as Krookodile has an extremely high attack stat, and I expect it to win Cap Tie here against the opponent. But we're going to be going for that Brick Break immediately, and thankfully, either way, we were going to get a shield, right? Get a shield with the Surf, or we were going to get it from the Brick Break, but good that we got it there, and we were going to be able to take that game. I love the Tyrantrum pick from the opponent, though. I wish I could make that thing work. It looks so good in this cup, but we're going to grab a Toddle because I forgot to edit out what I'm catching, but that's okay. We're going to speed it right along, and we get 2 back-to-back 4-1 sets, some really positive games with this team. I think it's going to be super solid. The team is really strong here. I love Krookodile in the lead. There might be some days where the Krookodile lead doesn't work out as well, but I promise you, if you have one, I'm giving you a green light to build it. Look at my IVs. They're terrible. Genuinely, they're not that great. I built it anyway because I need to. It's the only one you get, so I would recommend using it because we have this cup for 2 weeks, and this thing is extremely strong with the meta being as condensed as it is. There will be once in a while, there will be something different where you might hit a lot of like a Momomo leads, or I hit a Vileplume lead the other day. That was a wild thing that I'd never think I'd see. But there are some days where that'll happen, and then most days it'll probably be fine where you're seeing Licky, Slowbro, Bruxish, things that Crocodile just destroys. But anyway, long-winded aside, we're going to be going off on a tangent. But that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.